Chandradev, the moon god, was a disciple of Brihaspati, the revered teacher of the Devas. One day, while wandering through a garden, Chandra was captivated by the beauty of Tara, Brihaspati's wife, and fell deeply in love with her. Consumed by desire, he forcibly took Tara as his own, sparking Brihaspati's fury and igniting a conflict. This led to a fierce war, with Shukracharya, the guru of the Asuras, siding with Chandradev, while the Devas rallied behind Brihaspati. The battle, born from Chandra's passion for Tara, became known as the Tarkamai War. Fearing that the world would be destroyed by the conflict, Brahmadev intervened. He persuaded Tara to return to her rightful husband, Brihaspati, bringing an end to the war. In time, Tara gave birth to a child named Buddha. When questions arose about Buddha's true parentage, both Brihaspati and Chandra laid claim to him, but Tara remained silent. Disturbed by the uncertainty, Buddha confronted his mother, and she finally revealed that Chandradev was indeed his father. Buddha went on to marry Ila, and their son, Pururava, became the founder of the Chandravansa, the illustrious lunar dynasty.
Vivasvat Manu and Maharani Shraddha remained childless for a long time. According to the advice of Maharshi Vashisht, Manu and Shraddha decided to worship the twin gods Mitra Varun to get the boon of a child. It was under the patronage of Vashisht Rishi that Manu conducted the Putreshti Yagya. Manu had wished for a son from the gods Mitra Varun who could inherit his kingdom, but destiny had different plans. During the Yagya, Devi Shraddha wished for a daughter in her mind. Devi Shraddha gave birth to a daughter who was named Ila. Although both were happy as their desire of having a child was fulfilled, but Manu still desired a son. Therefore, he went to Maharshi Vashisht again. "O Brahmarshi, you know that I need an heir after me to run the entire kingdom. That is why I had expressed the wish of a son to you." Manu requested his guru to grant him a son. "O king, if you have received a girl after the Putreshti Yagya, then you should accept it. This is the law of the land, and it would be unfair to interfere in it." Vashisht Rishi urged Manu to accept this fate. Manu was desperate to have a son and was not in a position to accept the words of Guru Vashisht. Therefore, Vashisht Rishi accepted the prayer of Manu and changed the gender of the child using his powers gained from many years of penance. The firstborn child of Manu and Shraddha now became famous as Sudyamna, and after Manu, he took over the kingdom. One day while hunting, Sudyamna mistakenly entered the Sarvan forest while chasing a deer. Sarvan was the prelude to Mahadev and Shakti. According to the command of goddess Parvati, there was no entry of any other man except Lord Shiv. If a man violated this rule, he would be converted into a woman. Sudyamna had made that mistake. As per the enchantment, Sudyamna had now taken the form of a very beautiful woman. Along with him, his horse Chandraprabh had also undergone a gender change. Seeing his transformed feminine form, he got shocked. Surprised, Sudyamna knew very well that it was impossible for him to return to the kingdom in this female form. Therefore, he started living in the same garden. After wandering in the Sarvan forest for a few days, Sudyamna came to Brahmarshi Vashisht. On seeing Sudyamna as a woman, Vashisht understood the purpose of his arrival. "O Brahmarshi, no thoughts stay hidden from you. Please understand my helplessness in this female form and put an end to this suffering." Sudyamna prayed to Guru Vashisht. "I am fully aware of your pain. You were born as a woman. Your female form was guided by destiny, but your father violated the rules of creation after your birth and insisted on changing your gender." Vashisht explained to Sudyamna his birth story. "O great saint, kindly turn me to what I was, a man. It does not matter what I was before, because I have grown up as a man. I request you to use your powers to turn me into a man." Sudyamna requested while pleading. "It is impossible to do this. It is beyond my ability to go against the wishes of Ma Parvati and Mahadev. I ask you to seek blessings of Mahadev and Devi Parvati, as only they can relieve you from this suffering, Vashisht Rishi suggested. According to the advice of Gurudev, Sudyumna, while meditating and chanting the name of Mahadev, immersed himself in penance. Pleased with the devotion of Sudyumna, Mahadev appeared to him. O Mahadev, O Ashutosh, accept the obeisance of your servant. Bhagwan, I entered the Sarvan forest under the guise of ignorance. I pray for forgiveness for my mistake. O Nilkant, grant the former form to this devotee, O Mahadev. Accepting his mistake, Sudyumna prayed to Shiv. Sudyumna, Devi Parvati is the dearest to me in the whole world. I cannot abate this punishment established by her, but I can change it as I am satisfied with your devotion. Mahadev said to Sudyumna, As you command, O Ishwar. Grateful Sudyumna said while bowing to Mahadev. From now on, you will take the form of a man and a woman in every 1 month's interval. 1 month you will remain as Sudyumna, and the second month as Ila. Mahadev blessed Sudyumna by saying this. After a few days, when Ila was taking a bath in a reservoir, Chandradev's son, Budh, visited the very place at that time. Budh was fascinated by Ila's beauty and wanted to know everything about the feminine form of Sudyumna. Budh was also born from the illicit union of Tara, the wife of Chandradev, and Devguru Brihaspati, and hence Budh had to lead the life of a Kimpurush according to the curse of Guru Brihaspati. That is why Budh felt that Ila was the only one in the whole world that could complement him. Hence, Sudyumna in the form of a woman and Budh decided to get married. After marriage, Ila started spending time with Budh. 1 month as Ila, she would enjoy marital life, and in the second month, as Sudyumna, he studied the Vedas and the Dharmashastras with Budh. After spending a year in this manner, Ila gave birth to a son named Pururava. After a few days, Sudyumna returned to his kingdom with his successor, Pururava. After Pururava grew up, Sudyumna handed over the duties of managing the kingdom to him and devoted the rest of his life to the worship of Mahadev and Devi Parvati. After Sudyumna, Vaivasvat Manu had more sons. Sudyumna's younger brother, second-born son of Vaivasvat Manu, Ikshvaku, started Suryavansh, the great solar dynasty in the name of his grandfather. In this dynasty, we had kings like Harish Chandra, Bhagirath, Dilip, Raghu, and Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Sri Ram. Sudyumna's son, Pururava, also established Chandravansh, the great lunar dynasty in the name of his grandfather Chandra, which had kings like Nahush, Yayati, Dushyant, Bharat, Shantanu, and the Kaurav and Pandav brothers. After the conclusion of the Mahabharat war, when Abhimanyu's son Parikshit urged Maharshi Shukdev to learn about the history of his ancestors and the connection between Chandravansh and Suryavansh, Mahatma Shukdev narrated to him this legend of Ila and Budh.
Urvashi, an Apsara, was cursed to spend time on Earth. While on Mount Gandhamadhan, she caught the eye of King Pururva of the lunar dynasty, who fell in love with her. He asked her to become his consort. Urvashi agreed to be his consort, but under 3 conditions. 2 sheep must always stay near her bed, she must never see him naked, and she would only be served ghee as food. If any condition was broken, she would return to heaven. Pururva agreed, and they were married. Urvashi spent 60,000 blissful years with Pururva, but like all good things, their love story had an end. The Gandharvas, noticing Urvashi's prolonged absence from their realm, decided to bring her back. One night, the Gandharvas stealthily stole the 2 sheep that Urvashi cherished. She cried out for help upon discovering the theft. Pururva immediately ran after the thieves, forgetting that he was unclothed. The Gandharvas, aware of the conditions, ignited a fire just as Pururva chased them, causing the second condition to be violated. Amid all this chaos, Urvashi was also deprived of her ghee diet, breaking the final condition. With all three conditions breached, Urvashi was forced to return to heaven, leaving Pururva behind.
Did you know Lord Shiva has a daughter? Indeed, besides his famous sons Murugan and Ganesha, there's a less-known daughter, Ashoka Sundari, born from a wish granted by the Kalpavriksha, the wish-fulfilling tree. During one of Lord Shiva's frequent absences, lonely Parvati wished for a daughter, and so Ashoka Sundari came into existence. Her name tells her story. Ashoka, meaning without sorrow, symbolizes her role in eliminating Parvati's loneliness, while Sundari, meaning beautiful, is a testament to her striking beauty. Interestingly, Ashoka Sundari is mentioned during the incident where Ganesha was beheaded. Frightened by the act, she hid behind a sack of salt. When Parvati discovered her son's fate, she cursed Ashoka Sundari to become part of the salt. Only after Ganesha's head was restored did Shiva and Parvati bring their daughter back to life and pacify her. Thus, Ashoka Sundari is symbolically linked to salt, an essential element that adds taste to food. Though her existence is not widely known, Ashoka Sundari's tale adds depth to the rich tapestry of Hindu mythology.
In Hindu mythology, Nahush, a righteous and powerful king, was granted the throne of the god King Indra, as a reward for his virtues and penances. But power often corrupts, and Nahush was no exception. His arrogance grew, and he demanded the sage Agastya be carried to him in a palanquin, borne by the revered sages. Agastya, angered by Nahush's insolence, cursed him to become a serpent and slither on the earth. For years, Nahush lived as a serpent in a forest, until he was redeemed by the wise Yudhishthir during the Pandavas' exile.
राजा ययाति की कथा हमें यह सिखाती है कि अतृप्त इच्छाएं सागर की लहरों के समान हैं। जितना अधिक उन्हें संतुष्ट करने का प्रयास करो, उतनी ही प्रबल होकर लौटती हैं। राजा ययाति का विवाह देवगुरु शुक्राचार्य की पुत्री देवयानी से हुआ। देवयानी की सहेली राजकुमारी शर्मिष्ठा के साथ ययाति का आकर्षण बढ़ा, जिससे देवयानी को गहरा आघात हुआ। आहत होकर शुक्राचार्य ने ययाति को वृद्ध होने का श्राप दिया। जब ययाति वृद्ध हो गए तो देवयानी ने अपने पिता से उपाय मांगा। शुक्राचार्य ने कहा कि यदि ययाति का कोई पुत्र स्वेच्छा से अपना यौवन उन्हें दे दे तो वह पुनः यौवन पा सकते हैं। ययाति ने अपने पुत्रों से निवेदन किया, लेकिन सभी ने अस्वीकार कर दिया। अंततः उनके छोटे पुत्र पुरु ने अपने यौवन का त्याग कर पिता को दे दिया। ययाति ने पुनः यौवन पाया और भोग विलास का आनंद लिया, परंतु जल्दी ही उन्हें समझ आया कि इच्छाएं कभी समाप्त नहीं होती। उन्होंने अंततः अनुभव किया कि सच्ची संतुष्टि बाहरी सुखों में नहीं, बल्कि इच्छाओं पर नियंत्रण में है।
Madhavi is a character from Indian mythology known for only giving birth to male children, all of whom become warriors. She possesses the ability to regain her virginity after each childbirth. As a form of offering to his teacher, Vishwamitra, Galava must procure 800 white horses with black ears. Unable to fulfill this, he receives Madhavi from King Yayati instead. Galava then gives Madhavi to 3 different kings, each providing him with 200 horses. Eventually, he presents these 600 horses along with Madhavi to Vishwamitra. Some feminists argue that stories like this one perpetuate and justify patriarchy in Indian society.
Arjuna once visited Indra in the heavens, where he met the beautiful Apsara Urvashi. Captivated by his courage and strength, Urvashi found herself deeply drawn to him. She made a romantic approach, but Arjuna gently declined, reminding her of her connections with his ancestors and respectfully addressing her as mother. He explained that he couldn't engage with her romantically due to their familial ties. Urvashi, feeling insulted and hurt by this rare rejection, grew angry and cursed Arjuna in a moment of frustration. She declared that he would lose his manhood and become a eunuch. Shocked, Arjuna pleaded for mercy, explaining his predicament. Though still upset, Urvashi softened the curse to last only 1 year, allowing Arjuna to later use it to his advantage. During his incognito period, he took on the identity of Brihanala, a eunuch skilled in dance and music, and became a teacher to Princess Uttara of Matsya, thus staying hidden during that critical year.